Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the General Purpose and Finance Committee meeting on Monday, the 17th of June, 2024 at 8 p.m. This is the first of the newly reinstated General Purposes Committee meetings, and your peers have kindly suggested that I do the introduction to item 1 as Chair of the Council. So the first item of business on the agenda is to elect a committee chairman. Do we have any nominations for committee chairman, please?
I nominate Councillor.
Thank you. Do I have? Okay, thank you very much. And is there any other nominations?
Well, I'm happy to think if there is any other nominations.
Okay. Does anyone have any other nominations? No. Can I have a show of hands for that proposal, please?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, so it's unanimous. Yeah.
That is unanimous then. Thank you very much. Councillor Taylor, I will let you take your seat.
Oh yeah, and then she can do the vice chair.
That will be warm.
Do you want to swap your?
Yes.
Do you want to bring your name with you?
I'm not a team,
Can you,
I.
Taylor? Can you pass Sam's? Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Right then, let's move on. Yeah. So item 2, to elect a vice chair. Are there anyone that'd like to put themselves forward or any nominations?
Don't all rush.
I'm just, obviously I'm looking around. I know, no disrespect, Mr. Fate, you are quite new to the council, maybe not right now.
I'd like to nominate Taylor.
Oh,
Councillor Taylor.
In all fairness, I was actually going to nominate Andy Westby. In all fairness, in all fairness, I was going to. I think the public perception of it being Councillor Westby would be much better received. If he's happy,
Yeah.
I would then second that nomination.
Okay.
So nominate, was that you?
Yeah.
I nominate Councillor Westby.
Okay.
Okay. Not that I'm being put out.
No, you didn't.
Oh well, I thought I've got Sam as nominating, and then I've got Taylor
as seconding. Yeah.
So we're nearly there. We just need the vote.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Unanimous. It was Sam who nominated Andy Westby and Taylor second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Not that I wouldn't love to chair something with my daughter, but I don't think it's prudent. I don't.
The boss, I just want to be unfair to do that.
Well, like you just threw me under the bus.
Sorry.
So I will then just say a little bit of thank you for coming, Leslie and Colin, because we've got so many people here this evening. And just a little bit of housekeeping. There are no planned fire alarms for this evening, so your exits are behind me or to the front of the building. And if you can't use any, then there's another exit through the kitchen. Right, welcome everyone. We'll move on to item 4. Apologies for absence.
Yeah, we just got Councillor Tyra, and I haven't actually received an apology, so that needs to just be noted.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much. And then we have declarations. Item 5, declarations of interest. Does anybody? Councillor Fraser.
Current interest in item 9 and 10C.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on then. Item 6, public participation. No? Okay. Thank you. Item 7, to receive the finance.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the budget versus actual, I've just put to monitor that, although finance does say consideration and resolution, but because this is the very first meeting reconvened for some years, I should imagine. Yeah, that information has just been put before you, and if you've got any questions or anything you want to explore, we could discuss it. And it's the same with the next item as well. But obviously, I'll just wait and see if you've got any comments on the budget versus that. We're only 3 months in, by the way. So, you know, obviously we haven't made too much progress with the current budget. So it is fairly straightforward the way it's laid out.
Yep, I'm fine with that. Obviously, this did go to full council only a matter of weeks ago. So I think for this committee at the moment, we are in a position where there's no other option but for us to note it. There's no big expenditures coming out and everything looks like it's moving forward nicely for the first quarter. So is everyone happy? Then, so it's C, the town council's asset register. We're just going to monitor that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the reserves. I thought you'd done A and B.
Yeah, sorry.
together.
Yeah, I sort of did. Yeah, noted. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we happy to do this on block A, B, and C, and then we'll just look at the projects?
Yeah.
Is that happy that we'll take the clerk's advice on A, B, and C, and we'll just monitor them? Yeah. Can we have show of hands for that we're all happy? So A, B, C, we are taking the clerk's advice on, and then D, it's the town hall project update from the clerk. So I'll hand over to you, Sharon. Please.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I thought it was just at this point. There's still a few adjustments to do, but I just wanted to put this before you now so that another meeting doesn't go by. This is probably the first time you've seen what the quotes entail for each element of the town hall refurbishments. And so I've sort of done it so that the red items are they are what has already been approved and furthered, because you know the for instance the fire doors in the kitchen were getting really ropey and there was sort of like a gap and that was quite faulty as well. So we pressed on with that, and we've also as you know, we've completed the motion sensor, front door intercom and disabled toilet reparations. So but there probably are elements of this that I'd like to just, you know, get an agreement, because obviously we can't go any further with them. For instance, the top one, external decorating, we have got a cheap quote, and there was quite a difference between all three. The cheapest quote is in the red font, which is the Rob Dixon quote, and that is for 2,200 to do the front and the rear of the building. Then if you skirt down to the third one, we've got the flooring, which is the cheapest option was Hopkins. And I must say, I was really, really impressed with the way that they handled the code. They were the only ones who pointed out that Sorry,
Sharon, is the other samples still in the TRC one?
Yes, yeah.
Might be worth bringing them through.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Not going to be open. You need a key. I've got a key. Yeah.
Sorry, Sharon, that's all. Do I need to get home? So that we're not interrupted. I think that while we're on. Start. I'll leave you to carry on.
So anyway, the cheapest quote was the flooring. As I say, I was really impressed with Hopkins because they also pointed out that their quote will include redoing this floor as well. They were the only ones who pointed out that we had a trip hazard there. So when they do, if they are appointed, and they were actually the cheapest, they would then take that out and make it flush so that there is no trip hazard. And also they gave us the samples, which are hopefully you can, but what we've got so far on the wooden samples, they've got a whole range in store as well. So what you've got there is just a very small sample. They've got a much wider range as well, which you might want to go a little bit darker so that it matches with the woodwork.
Well, I'm not gonna think it, I wouldn't want to go any lighter, because having had a light oak floor in a
Yeah.
function room
Yeah,
once before, I can tell you now, it doesn't like stilettos and it doesn't like,
Yeah.
yeah.
so I mean,
Are these all from Hopkins, these samples, or are they?
well, if you're going to go with Hopkins, I'm not going to advise.
Well,
then
looking at the prices, I would be
yeah.
minded to.
Yeah, and it does include a floor. He's going to donate. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So it includes donation. Yeah.
Yeah, in all fairness, he donated stuff to residents for the flood, well, to the council to hand out to
Oh, yeah.
residents if they
Okay,
needed it
yeah.
during the flooding.
Yeah.
Which for a community company, are they the same, these
Yeah.
two books?
Yeah,
Do you
they're
want to
all
take
from
some
the
that side?
Yeah. Nigel's already had a look. Yeah,
That as well.
yeah.
Yeah, but we can't use that to make our decision, that cannot sway our decision.
Voices.
This one is virtually identical.
You picked the one in the middle there.
I would
Is that-
say my
red.
preference would be Hopkins on the basis that obviously the price is more attractive and also, you know, he has some very good experiences, especially throughout the flooding. I personally feel that if we were to replace the carpet, it should be something of a similar design, because I do think this will hide the marks. If it's a plain carpet with no pattern, I don't think that it
Yeah.
will soon
Show marks.
stain.
And I think I'm probably of the same mind. And the red is within keeping. I quite like the darker burgundy one, but same design, but slightly darker. So the big one, big swatch is this one, and the smaller swatch is that one. And I only say that because it is slightly darker and might hide the stains a little bit more. You know, having parented 4 children, I've gone through numerous carpets because my children are. I just think that this one is slightly darker, but I prefer this one. I'm not going to lie. I prefer the red one, but I'm just mindful that maybe the more burgundy one might be a better. But members, Leslie, which one? No, you're shaking as a member of the public. Which one do you?
If I'm allowed to join in.
I've suspended the meeting and asking, as a taxpayer, when we're spending your money.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just thinking that it's all too dark. If we've got the dark in the floor and the dark walls and the dark carpet, it's all
Dark.
too dark. Is what I was thinking. I prefer, and this isn't bad. I mean, it's similar colour to that, and it doesn't look too.
I prefer this one.
I prefer. I
think that's probably
the
the
This one. So councillor Westby says if we put it on the floor, this one is probably nearer what we've got.
Somewhere in between.
I was also the first one.
I mean, decades ago,
I think you're probably actually right. But,
it's too dark all the way across the.
Yeah.
I think the more vibrant of the two is my preference.
I think the more vibrant is. But that one is.
This is a very informal meeting.
This is a very, sometimes it's nice to be a little bit interactive.
You say they the same.
The dark one is very dark.
The light one is red, the really fresh and
Are these the only ones with any examples of the floor?
I promise I won't chair every meeting like
No,
this.
Nigel, Hopkins
Yeah,
have
same as
lots and lots of darker examples.
That one.
Yeah.
Put them up against the wood. Come on, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red one, the light.
I do prefer the lighter one, but I think the
Lighter one.
dark one looks nice against the wood.
Yeah.
The dark, that does look nicer against the wood.
If you had bright furnishings, if you had brighter chairs and then,
Yeah.
you know, it wouldn't matter if you've got darker flooring. Because you would have light furnishings.
Hold them up and councillor Taylor, look at them. Look.
You better off looking at wood, think wood. That look better.
Oh, it does.
Actually look better than the other one. I hate to say it, but it does.
It does.
Yeah.
You want to come and fence the word?
I think I'll note it down afterwards because we keep putting lighter, darker, lighter, darker. I'm not writing anymore until it's done.
As long as something's put in to brighten it up. But.
Are we going to refresh?
I prefer the light one, but I think the dark one would
Not,
be
not,
better.
not,
Depends
not,
on what wood
that
you
would
have
work.
was what I'm
I think we
thinking.
should paint the panelling white.
It'll have to be a different colour.
Yeah.
So we are,
Yeah, go on, go, yes, still team, let's see which side stays.
What's the
the
verdict?
darker one, the burgundy.
Yeah.
So can I have a proposer and a seconder for which of the two reds we are going for, please? Because I think we have narrowed it down to the two reds.
I propose the darker of the two.
Yeah,
I'm all in favour.
yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. Yeah, so that's a majority and
Against,
Yeah, against, but.
yeah,
It's just the majority's passed.
yeah.
yeah. And then wood samples then, if we're going to look at the wood
Well, the
samples.
thing is, I think, are you in agreement that you might need darker? Or do you want to have a look
Shall we have a
first?
quick
Yeah.
look and we'll see?
Yeah.
In that colour.
They're all a bit like.
My preference, if you can do it, would be for a wood as near as matching the paneling as
Yeah.
possible. Because I just think it would look nicer.
Yeah.
If it was the same as the paneling, and also
Yeah.
if it was that bit darker again.
That one
it
there is
adds
quite
to it.
nice.
Yeah, he did say that he
That
has got
one.
more in stock.
Oh,
Would that go with the grey? Is it grey?
Yeah.
No, it's black.
Yeah.
Brown.
Hmm,
But,
yeah. Yeah.
oh, it's not grey.
Do you want to defer it to the next meeting? Because we won't be able to put the carpet down until we've done all the other bits and bobs, so.
Yes, we're not going to choose the flooring for the middle if members are happy with that until he can just give us some extra samples in
Yeah,
our colour palette.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
If we could ask.
That's
something
fine. Yeah.
that's got samples. and
Okay.
closer matching.
Yeah. So, okay, and so, do you want me to just go through the kitchen? And then, I think that's all we can do for now. So we can do 3 agreements tonight.
Actually, Sharon, what I was gonna ask was, the doorway,
Yeah,
to widen the doorway at the front of the premises.
Yeah.
Obviously to improve the initial access to the hall.
yeah,
I think that to get that done sooner rather than later would be a preference because
yeah.
obviously we don't wanna be laying carpets.
Oh,
on
no,
the walls.
No, but I'm not ready yet with the doorway. I haven't quite finished that, so that doesn't matter. But what I would like to do is to get an agreement for the external decorating won't affect anything. And the kitchen, we can also be doing that, could we?
Well, in
Or
all
would you-
fairness, do we have any pictures or cupboard designs or anything for the kitchen? Because to allocate nearly £27,000 to a project that members haven't seen a design, a floor plan, or
Well, they were presented, they have been presented in a previous meeting, haven't they?
no,
Have they not?
no,
Okay, yeah,
No.
fair enough, yeah, all right, yeah.
no.
So I'll defer that one as well.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because I'm just
Yeah.
mindful that is quite a considerable
Yeah.
amount of money.
Yeah.
And like,
That's fine.
obviously there was talk of maybe putting an access point in that kitchen, so a floor plan design would be
We've got
councillor
them,
Fraser.
yeah. but I haven't got them ready printed out for this meeting. They're upstairs. I mean,
I just think we'll
I think from the scale of.
project.
yeah,
So the end.
yeah.
And
Okay.
is Hugh Gray's, is that also a kitchen company or is that?
They're a
because
supplier.
That's right. So they're just supplying cupboards?
Yeah, and then Neil Skidmore will do the labour to fit them.
Will do if that's who we propose and accept.
Yeah.
There
yeah,
is
I
no
mean,
dead cert on that.
No,
No,
no, although the prices are starkly different at the
That
moment.
they are starkly different,
Yeah.
but obviously have we contacted anybody else to fit them?
We did, oh, no, we haven't
Well,
actually.
we
yeah.
would need three people contacting to price up fitting them because obviously that is council's policy to have.
Yeah,
Or are we source? Yeah, so no,
see.
but obviously if we are looking to put in tradespeople like we did for the electrician,
Mhm.
again, I'm happy to progress with
Yeah.
that if members are, but obviously we would need to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah, I mean, how did we approach that? Because did we approach Neil first and then he came up with a supplier, or did we get the supplier of the kitchen and then we picked Neil? Because
We
this,
haven't picked Neil.
no, what I mean is,
Approached. I'm just making
yeah,
it clear,
sorry,
yeah.
yeah. Can you remember, Stephen, which way round it is? Yeah, we approached Neil and Neil came up with the Hughes Gray.
So if we can
So
just,
that is actually one arrangement because he's the one who brought Hughes Gray to us, which is slightly different than if we picked Hughes Gray and then we looked at Hughes Gray and if it was the other way around, then perhaps we would have to go out.
So
two
it's-
or three quotes.
okay, so what we'll do if members are happy is we'll get those designs from both companies then, as we have two here out of the three that we should
Yeah.
try to source.
Yeah.
And once members have seen them and looked at them, and maybe if we can distribute to full council as well, just because it is quite a lot and sometimes picking something it's nice for everyone to be in the loop.
Absolutely. I will say that also we did seek a third company, but they didn't come forth with any quote or design.
I know it's such a shame when you think
Yeah.
that you
And it was
try
a
and do it
local
and
town
people don't come
company,
back.
wasn't it? Yeah. So, but can I have an agreement to then
The
the
decorating,
decorating definitely, and obviously a vote for the flooring.
so on the prospect that we've already said we would like to go with Hopkins flooring and a carpet sample and colour has been chosen, I think that was the resolution that we would go with the flooring, Sharon.
Yeah.
And then you want to go for the external, are you wanting that to be Rob Dixon members? Is that who we are?
Can I just get clarification on this? So where it says rear ridge building fascia boards, it's the whole of the rear building, including the fascia boards, not just the fascia boards at the rear building.
That is the rear, that he's going to also decorate the rear of the building, including the fascia boards. Yeah.
So can we have
On that basis.
Yeah, so.
and so councillor Taylor, T Taylor and councillor Smith.
Yeah.
To go for Rob Dixon.
Unanimous?
Which is random. I have a cousin called Robert Dixon, not
Oh.
the same one,
Yeah.
definitely not the same one, but there you go.
So we have, on that basis, we've chosen Hopkins in that vote, haven't we? Hopkins and the decorating, yeah.
Yeah, and
Just want to make-
builders for the,
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
so councillor Thwaites
That's
voted
right,
on
yeah.
the carpet.
Right.
So the builders for the doorway, auto door.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. It was just a bit frustrating that, yeah, you also want the front door automated and I had not actually asked SP Bates to do that. So I've asked them to come back and they've got an appointment to come back. So sorry for the delay.
And on this project list here, what about making the doorway wider?
Yeah, that's all in with
That's
this.
in-
Yeah, this is all part
in
and
the
parcel of what I'm asking all three to do. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't given you any prices individually, because I've just averaged it at the moment. But I just wanted you to see the with also the stair lift and the lift, just to give you an idea of what sort of finance we're looking at here.
Can I, sorry, two parts. Firstly, if we can get the pricing for the doorway to be made wider and those improvements before the next full council, at least be added to that agenda, so that
Yeah.
it can be progressed quicker, so then we can go ahead with the flooring.
Yeah.
Because I think that can't be done until this part is done. And secondly, no pressure if it can't be done in time,
Yeah.
Sharon, but just if it is, if the quotes come back in time, it'd be nice to be able to progress it. And the second thing is, I would just like to say it now, I think we should hit the stair lift and the lift on the head, because I think the amount of money is just disproportionate to the requirement.
If anyone comes in and they are restricted with their mobility, there is a doorbell, the staff come down to accommodate whatever their needs are. I think to further accommodate them, the TLC room should be a ground floor office, and I think that would be more welcoming to residents, and also would then eliminate that need for the stair lift and the lift to be fixed and in use. We have, for any meetings or anything this school might be hired out for, a large committee room, a small committee room, a bar area that are all accessible to people with reduced mobility. And if the town will have an office on the ground floor, there would be that as well. Therefore, no need per se to go up the stairs. But I think we don't get a demand. Nobody has, with mobility issues, has raised this with us as an immediate thing that has impacted them. And I think that actually on that basis, the money would be a disproportionate spend to the requirements of the council.
Can I just ask, obviously you've put in with the stair lift
Yeah.
and with lift, but is there a price here for the stair lift? Just
Yeah,
to see,
it's the 6,000. Yeah, I've sort of it's right at the bottom.
it's right at the bottom.
And then it's
Ah,
not
there.
two. Yes.
So the care lift.
Yeah.
That's, I just actually looked at that as
Yes.
a blue section.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
Sharon.
that's okay.
So a stair lift would be £6,000 roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In all fairness, if, and only the staff would know how often somebody asks to be able to get upstairs with with a disability, and I don't know how often that does happen, if ever.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Especially now we don't have the citizens advice officers upstairs.
Mhm.
Um,
So most people that
it's
wanted to
very-
access the lift would have been going to the citizens advice
Yeah.
beforehand. Well, on the basis that it's very rare, Councillor Fraser.
Just want to wonder why the front door. Do we need a door?
Yes. Is my opinion, and I will give you that opinion. When there is stuff going on in this room, you don't want people backwards and forwards, and if it's away and the bar is being used, do you want people coming in and out to the council offices, walking past, opening the door?
Well, the only reason I say that is because obviously it's have an automated door. It's going to be a lot more.
No, that's on the front door, not this door here. No, yeah, no, it's the automated door is the front door, Councillor Fraser. Yeah, that is what the thing is, an automated door on the front of the building, not this door here, Sharon.
Well, I took it that we wanted both.
Oh, no, I don't think this door needs to be automated. Pardon?
If I may, I'm very much of the view that actually, if you're going to automate one
You got the
door,
bill.
then the second door would also need to be automated, so that that person, if they can't get through the front door without being automated, they have to get the second door without being automated. I think they should be automated, but I think there should be a door, because I'm like-minded. If during the day, while the offices are open, you have something in that front room, you don't want someone coming past every 5, 10, 20 minutes to go upstairs to the offices. Should someone come in at the town hall to access upstairs, I think you don't know what the sensitivity is or why that room's in use.
And actually, it might be something that's private or something that would require that door to be there. And I think to scrimp on pennies when it's a couple of £1,000 that would then last, 10, 20, 30 years, I think it's a good investment. So I would be in favour of retaining the door and having both automated.
What I haven't presented to you, and perhaps what you don't know that Stephen and I do, perhaps Kate does, is that one of the builders came forth with the option to actually put a double door halfway down the corridor, so that you maybe don't have when you go for the front door and then you've got the door in front of you, to take that door off, then you'd have a double door opening halfway down the bar there, whereas certainly a big mobility scooter would have the option to come in. Now that then begs the question, if the reason why he suggested that is because that's a partition, whereas the door at the front, if you're going to automate that side door, that's actually part of the fabric of the building. One of the builders suggested that we might have to go through listed building status. The other two didn't agree. But
We've spoke to the conservation officer though, haven't we, about altering that door, and he was okay.
Yeah. I mean, he was okay. No, he just said if you're going to do something which does something quite new, and also if it is part of the fabric of the building and it's new, you'd have to go through him. So you could argue, because you are widening that door existing, you perhaps might have to go through him. And one of the builders went so far as to suggest you also need a civil engineer's report as well, but the other builder didn't agree. But two of them did agree that if you use the corridor, broke into there with a double door similar to this, not as wide as that, because it's a petition, you're not actually altering an original part, it's already been amended. So if you just broke a double door, you would certainly, and they'd all agree that you wouldn't need to go through listed building. Yeah.
So you're looking to bring a mobility scooter into this doorway here just outside these double doors.
If you come in the building, when you face the first door right in front of you, through the front door, maybe don't have that door there at all. Go past the bottom office, maybe the office, and then just to your left where the notice board is, break through there
into the bar.
And if you wanted a door,
I'm not going to be funny, we'd have to go through listed building consent to do that as well, to put a whole doorway in the middle of that wall.
Well, no, because it's a petition wall, and so therefore it's already been amended, so they wouldn't need to know.
I would not. I would not risk it, because to put doorways in a public building, I took a doorway out on a small piece of wall, and I can tell you I had to have building consent. I had to what the officer at Breckland advised me to do, with special bricks and lintels, and how deep the support had to be dug into the floor, because it was a public building. So I would just be cautious that knocking a doorway slap down halfway down that wall,
but if you
isn't going to be as simple.
It is, as I say.
Yeah, I know, but this panelling down to the varnish that the conservation officer allows us to use in these walls, that's the panelling throughout the building. The bay windows to the front of this building aren't original to the building, yet are in the listed consent.
Well, we wouldn't do anything unless, we would run everything by him regardless, but these two builders seem to think that we wouldn't have to go back to him. And I suppose I sort of
I thought that was only the one.
I would think expanding a doorway that is already present is much easier than knocking a new wall in, changing the corridor layout. So their suggestion is move a door, change the hallway layout, and knock a brand new entrance in. And that's a better option than just widening a doorway. I'm slightly confused.
Yes. However,
and I think the civil engineer next to me is slightly confused as well.
Yeah. Well, we've named the three companies here. So we had SP Blades. They are the ones who just wanted to go with the door widening there. New Ways came up with the double door option through there. When I had Dunnyville back again, they agreed that that also would be possible. So the 2 out of the 3 didn't say, no, that would absolutely be not, you know,
Possible.
that would.
I don't think it's possible, but
Yeah.
it's whether or not we would believe. I think I'm mindful to try and get the conservation officer to do a site visit, because I think we're speculating what may and may not be allowed.
Yeah,
We're looking at quotes on something that may not or may be allowed.
yeah,
And I think we need clarification from
Yeah.
him
okay,
what it is exactly he is going to allow, and we would like that in writing, because
yeah,
we
That's
wouldn't
fine.
want to fall foul
Yeah.
of any.
no, certainly not.
Yeah, so can we,
Yeah.
can we defer the doorway
Yeah,
then until we have some better, is
Best
committee happy
advice.
with that?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely fine, yeah.
Right then.
And have you, what about the lift? Did we,
I would like to propose that we look at for all of these.
And potentially look at moving an office down.
Downstairs.
What you have to do is be proportionate to the requirement.
yeah,
You don't go spending a fortune on something that's not going to be used.
yeah,
And we are talking 40-odd thousand pound.
And I think that a downstairs office would not
Yeah.
only accommodate, you know, that demographic, but also just be more inviting to the general population of that borough as well.
yeah,
So, I would like us to, suspend any further inquiries into the lift repair and install a stair lift, and actually start focusing our directions on bringing
Is that your
an office downstairs.
is that your proposal on the lift project? Is there a seconder for that proposal? Councillor West Fraser, and a show of hands.
unanimous that one, yeah. That's it, and I think we've sort of covered everything there. so far.
We have, and Councillor Taylor can take the hate for that, P Taylor.
So what we've got,
It's okay, I'll put the papers up, I've not
Yeah.
split the screen. Town Market Matters, item 8 for consideration and resolutions.
I've only put that onto the agenda because it says that in the terms of reference. So if there is an issue with the town market, I will bring it up, but I've just got it on the agenda as a standing item so that you can either flip past it, or if an issue does come up, and if anyone has any issues or wants to raise, it's there for you to discuss.
I don't have any issues with the town market, but I'm thinking, would it be nicer, and not wanting to detract any of the businesses that do lunches or anything in the town, but maybe if we can try and attract a street food vendor, maybe once
Yeah,
a month or something. Our market dwindles. Swaffham's is amazing. I hate to give credit to another market town when I'm talking, like comparing it to our amazing little town.
You've been to Dids.
This is really good. I must admit, until recently, my mum used to make my dad take her over to this. I really feel there is something we need to do to try. And I know we've tried and tried again, and it's one of those things. Anne's probably sitting there thinking we're banging our heads against a brick wall. But there's got to be something the other towns do that we are not doing, and how are we missing a trick?
Councillor Taylor, can I suggest that, perhaps, as you've just noted, that Swaffham's market is so good, that perhaps you have a discussion with Councillor Morton, and perhaps in your capacity as chair, try to think of ways that we can improve our market and bring it back to the next meeting, because I think we could get lost in.
Yeah, I think we could. But I would come back and say probably the Park of Swaffham might know better if it's the town council that runs their market like we do.
Yeah.
And again, as Councillor Thwaite said, it's probably good to go to this as well, and maybe if we can pinch some of their ideas. I think our markets are on a different day, so I don't think it would be any conflict to either of those towns if they assisted us in looking to, regenerate our market.
Yeah, okay.
Is there anywhere else nearby that has a Thursday market? It's not in competition with us.
That is also something that we could look at and see. Maybe we can put a feelers out.
The market traders don't come because they're all going to somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Yeah.
Okay then,
Okay.
are we happy for that? Yeah. 9, subcontractor caretaker review, to review. Well, you can go that way and shut the door.
Try not to forget in this time. Okay.
I'll have a tea.
Okay. So,
Yeah, it's not vibrating.
yeah. So obviously I'll put that on there because it's the 3 months is up now, so we need sort of like to discuss if we go forward with the contract.
I think I'm mindful that as a finance committee, I'm happy to allocate the finance for this role, but I really think it's a bit of a crossover between personnel. Councillor Taylor doesn't agree,
Yeah.
but
Well, I don't think this question of finance now, I think during the position of a additional caretaker is already been taken into account because obviously we've previously had 2 employed caretakers. So I don't think it's a financial matter. I think it's more the general purpose element, which is why it's been put here, but I do feel that in debating and to be able to have a really open discussion, it's almost like discussing someone's appraisal. And if this was an employee rather than someone that's been contracted, we wouldn't subject them to having that done in a public forum. And it might also make members feel like they can't speak so freely. So I was actually going to suggest that while I think, you know, in his capacity as an individual rather than a councillor, Stephen Fraser is doing a very good job as a contracted caretaker. I do think that a discussion at the next personnel committee meeting about the review would be more appropriate, just in my opinion. I don't know how to say about it.
she put it more eloquently than I did, but that was where
Yeah.
I just,
I just think it's very similar to an appraisal, isn't it? It's done 3 months, contracted. If it was an employee finishing their 3-month probation,
Yeah.
it would be discussed at personnel.
Yeah.
Personally,
I can't, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. Because only because of what it is.
I believe it, I see where, I know what you're going to say,
It's a
it's a
service.
contract, it's a
It's
service. And I see where that muddies, but this is a contractor that is in and out daily,
Yeah.
liaises with other members of staff. It's not like they're
Yeah.
coming in, doing a
Perfect.
one-off job and going. Like most
Yeah.
contractors do, like we're gonna have a builder in, he's gonna do the building work and he's gonna go off and go.
I get you.
The florer's gonna come in, do the floor, come in and go.
Yeah.
It is slightly different how this
Yeah.
contractor integrates with the council.
Yeah.
And
Contract employee, in fact.
it's just slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
How it integrates with council.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard.
Okay. Yeah. I can totally see that because that's exactly where it began, didn't it?
Yeah.
It began in personnel.
And I just think that that would be, if members are minded to keep this one.
I think if it was going to personnel, but then the transparency, a recommendation to renew that contract.
Should come back to GCNF.
Could then come back to either full council or GP or someone else and be redirected. But I just think in the first instance, and then even if after that first review,
Yeah.
any further review could just come straight in. I think the first one, because it almost is the probation. I know it's not probation, I know it's not an employee,
Okay.
but I just feel that because he is contracted to undertake a role
Rather,
in council rather than to do an
Yeah.
individual job.
I think as long as the minutes from the personnel committee are as transparent as possible and their recommendation comes back to this committee, so it is in the public forum, I think I would just feel a little
Yeah,
bit more
okay.
comfortable with that.
The only reason I put it on now, obviously, was because the 3 months is exactly up. So if the committee is okay with just keeping it rolling along until such time as it's decided, then you'll be just, you know, sort of like just
Until the
you're beyond the contract, but you're just going to carry on with service until you've made
The
a
personnel
decision.
committee can
Yeah,
convene and look at it.
We can do that in 2 weeks.
Well,
I can within 3 working days, I can convene a personnel meeting, which I
I
need
mean, I
to
don't
do
think you need to
really-
like rush,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know if you've got any other appraisals that are going to need to be done
Well,
or.
we have got another matter to discuss, so I suppose I could get that out, you know, tomorrow with the 2 items on it.
Yeah, I
Ad
wouldn't
hoc.
want to
It
see
doesn't
members
have to be a
dragging just for
Monday, does
one.
it? It can be any day, really,
Yeah.
can't it?
We
Yes,
can do the next
Yeah.
Monday or week on Monday before.
but there is no
the,
rush, because if it's going to have to come back in a month, then,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, their recommendation will be, it will only come to us for ratification anyway, won't it? Their
Okay,
recommendation,
yeah,
so
okay, yeah.
if members are happy with that, we'll defer it to the personnel committee and await their recommendations.
Well, in basis too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, can I have a proposer and a seconder for that then? Yeah, and seconder. Right then, and a vote, yeah.
Unanimous, yeah. Got it.
We're just for it,
Yeah, brilliant.
yeah.
Okay, and then it's just
The purchase request for resolution,
yeah.
for additional vehicle for the ground staff.
I think this has been thought about for quite some time, but I thought, well, because we've got a budget of 10,000 for an additional vehicle, I think now is the time, given that they are, you know, really, really against the clock at the moment, and they have been for some time. Yes, they have got a full quota of 4 groundsmen, but now we're in the summer season, that it's quite apparent that the additional vehicle would actually make them a lot more efficient, because they could split off in teams of 2, whereas because they have to keep dropping each other off and collecting each other when the jobs are done, that just impedes their efficiency.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say, I am in agreement to an additional vehicle, because I do think it would make the work more practical. But I was mindful that in the papers, there's no quotations, so perhaps
No.
we could bring quotations.
Yeah,
But on the principle of it, yes,
Yeah.
I would.
I didn't present anything because I couldn't presume. I wanted your in-principle agreement to look into it before I even did anything.
I think it would really help the efficiency.
What
Yeah.
sort of vehicle are you looking at? Just sort of
I'm not
van?
looking at anything fancy, just something really
Small van.
practical, second-hand, reliable vehicle, maybe a small white van or something. Nothing grand or anything like that.
In all fairness, I was actually going to say maybe something similar to what they've already got, but
And grand will be very cold to pick up.
No, I'm thinking of a little van.
Do we never lease anything? So.
we did actually.
Is that
The
more
last
effective?
we did lease a transit from
Yeah.
Hussey's, I do believe.
So the wedge in.
I don't know why we
I could look into the prices.
I think it was just very,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Oh,
And to be for buses.
Yeah.
Commercial vehicles
Anyway.
aren't cheap, right?
Yeah.
but I mean, there are
Yeah.
plenty of white
That's
vans
true.
available. and
I
I
love
just
my
want-
white van.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's just
You don't need anything, you know, practical, yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I was saying they fall before like they have is because quite a few of our areas, you do go off-road in it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, that was the only reason that I was thinking of,
Yeah.
like, obviously, if they're off on Decoy Common or going across Gamers or our new Jubilee Wood or our allotments, obviously, that was just but maybe we can get some quotes for
Yeah,
both.
yeah,
Councillor Taylor?
that's a really good
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna make a proposal, please, that we in principle accept the additional vehicle to the ground staff with the administration to seek quotations for comparable vehicles.
Yeah. Okay.
B, 2 monitors for the park. Proposal second, councillor Fraser, yeah, Councillor Westby.
Yeah.
And show of hands?
Yeah.
You've done lots
Was
tonight.
that Taylor
What's that
proposed
about?
that?
Yeah.
Taylor
Taylor,
proposed,
Taylor and
yeah,
Andy.
yeah, Taylor and Andy.
Is that?
For the, for in principle accept
Oh, yeah,
traditional
yeah.
vehicle and an admin to seek quotation for a comparable vehicle. Yeah.
Okay then. 2 monitors for the clerk and the clerk's assistant. I think that's fairly self-explanatory.
That's basically because of the accessibility and we monitor CCTV, because we're up there. We can see on our CCTV there, but because we're working, you have to keep flipping, you can't see who's there, so it's just common sense that we have even if it's just one monitor for the
Just
assistant clerk mainly, but
to monitor the
yeah,
CCTV.
but because I found one for about £65, I think we can afford two.
So on the basis that 2 would be £130 in the region of that and would obviously aid in. Yeah, happy.
I'll literally
Propose that.
propose that we proceed.
Yeah,
Common sense.
yeah.
Who was the seconder, sorry?
Me.
Oh, Nigel, thanks, yeah.
No, she had a shower just in case she didn't catch it.
Yeah. And last one.
And C, laptop for the caretakers. Are you gonna?
I think I've given you sort of like a decent pricing for caretakers' use. It would be just handy because at the moment they're just going through their own personal phones and it's not very professional. When you've got the caretaker's office, which has nothing in there, if they had like a small laptop, they'll have files to access. They can research supplies, etc., much more efficiently. You know, they've got documents that they need to keep track of, health and safety. They can't do anything with that.
So you're saying you want to digitalise their
role.
records?
Yeah. It would be commonsensical if you want them to do a decent job, I think.
And is this, in the proposal or the recommendation, can it be that we have one iPad that they share?
Yeah, one to share. Yeah, it would just be the caretaker's laptop, which would be kept in the office. It would be there to sort of like, no, for the role. Yeah.
And I propose this.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Yeah, all in favour. Yeah, wonderful, thank
A
you.
proposer and a seconder for the second public participation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your pick, everyone put their hands up.
Yeah, thanks.
You can come back in.
Okay.
Members of the public, would anybody like to speak?
As a member of the public,
When you're sat in that chair, you are.
I would agree that the lift and the chair, any access to the stairs would always be fraught with, if the power went down and if there was a fire at the same time, that's not ever hoping to happen. You would need to get those people downstairs, so it does make it that much more difficult. So I would suggest that to the front. I mean,
That's a really good point.
That is a very good point. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, and Peter?
Yeah, so with market. I'd like to suggest perhaps the council looking at having a farmers market once a month on Saturday, farmers and home produce. I think if you find those stallholders get a good, sort of feedback and sell, that they might take up a store on a Thursday.
The only thing is the public order that we've got out there, it only applies to Thursday, doesn't it?
It does, but we can always put in for an extra
Yeah.
one once a
Of course
week.
we can.
But we can look at, we can look at,
Yeah.
Queen Square. Last year.
Norfolk down. So yeah, we could put it on the square. It is a temporary
Yeah.
events notice, but we could look at putting it
Yeah.
on the square rather than
Oh, yes.
on the road.
Oh,
But,
yes. Yeah.
I don't think you would need a Thames to put it
No,
on
you
the
wouldn't.
square.
No.
Playing music.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Also
great.
for different towns.
Yeah.
So when do Wyndham do one once a month?
They do one month, it's the third Saturday of the month.
Also, it's in the field, have a look at something I've seen there, farms.
Yeah, well, we can research it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, we're gonna look into some of those things. Thank you guys for those suggestions. Do we have any items for the next agenda then, moving on if nobody else wants to participate?
I've got a few items that I need to put on.
Okay.
Risk register.
Mhm. How long was that tea, Leslie?
We've got on the terms of reference fees review, most definitely.
Yeah, so we got
Member training.
risk register, member training and fee
Yeah,
reviews.
bank reconciliation will come on, but I won't do that till
Till
August.
August.
And possibly, because it's on the terms of reference, just looking at the licensing in the bar and heritage as well is on terms of reference. So I might put those on. I might space them out so that we don't look at everything all at once, because this is a new committee again, isn't it?
So the bar license in the bar though,
Yeah,
that's tied up until a specific date, isn't it? So
Yeah.
maybe we'll do
so
the
maybe
heritage
not.
first.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
maybe I'm happy to look at it,
yeah,
but maybe we'll put the heritage on for next month.
yeah,
And once you've looked at the dates and
yeah,
for the licensing, we'll put that possibly on the month after.
Yeah.
Licensing, regardless of when the tenders are, I think we really ought to be looking at that more sooner rather than later. Because I
okay,
do think that an officer of the council should have a personal license and the DPS for the premises, they should hold
Yeah.
the premises license. I
okay,
think that's appropriate.
So not only would you like to look at the terms of the license, you would like to look at the role of the license.
yes, fair enough,
Yes.
yeah,
Reviewing.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
anyways,
Review the
yeah,
income.
also,
Income.
I think
the
this
bar.
is something
Yeah,
that I've
yeah.
mentioned before. Our clerk especially is very softly spoken, which, no criticism, Sharon, you do a fantastic job. But I did say about perhaps looking into some microphones for the table.
Oh, yeah.
because I think we've had those in the public, and didn't quite hear that.
yeah,
So I just, you don't have to worry so much with
no,
the chairs.
yeah.
But some of the other members.
I do
Yeah.
not know where she is coming from, but I will say I will be mindful they're quite expensive because
Yeah.
Brackland have just looked
Yeah.
at new
It's the scale of the.
Yeah.
Brackland, but yes.
There are a couple of other things that we'd like to enhance the town hall with, if we're not gonna go ahead with the lifts.
But
Yeah, okay. I won't tell you what I'm putting on, but- Yeah, that's fine, yeah, super,
Yeah, not that
nine,
it might have scared members at Brackland a little how expensive new ones are going to be, but ours is a much smaller scale. On that note, thank you ever so much, and we're done.
we're good.